I'm joined by University of Central Oklahoma, all region, all conference, and all American. Guard Montriel Lee. Montriel, thank you for taking time this afternoon to come on and talk to us. Could you start by telling the viewers and listeners a little bit about yourself?
My name is Montriel Lee from Dale City, Oklahoma, and I play football for UCO.
Now, you're from Dale City. You have several teammates that are from Carl Albert as well. I know the Mid Dale is a well-known area for high school football and sports in general. For those that might not know, though, like what is that Mid Dale rivalry between Dale City, Carl Albert, and Midwest City like?
We don't like each other at all. None of the three schools get along. They know when it's Friday night, 7:00. They already know once you step on the field, it's beef. Outside the field, some of us can be friends, but on the field, I don't know you, you don't know me.
Now, how much trash talking though went into the locker room? Because obviously there was Diego for a period of time. You had Mike with you from Dale City. I think you had Braylon this year from Dale City. There's obviously Noah and JMO. So what is there trash talking during and before the rivalry games?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. There's trash talking all year long, man. Our coaches love to bring it up, start it up out of nowhere. And sometimes if they hear somebody bringing up Dale City in the locker room, and like if Noah hit the corner time out, I know y'all not talking about Dale City, and he'll just start bringing up Carl Albert when he wasn't involved in the conversation. So yeah, the trash talking goes maybe if not twice a week, once a week for sure. I'm for real.
Now, I remember when I talked to Mike about that. He said it was kind of tough to rebuttal because Carl Albert's like success. So when that comes up, like how are you able to like get some jabs in your own way?
It really ain't nothing much I can say. Noah know he wins the argument. So like when he comes around, I kind of just look at him. And he just starts laughing. Like, I just be like, bro, nobody brought Carl Albert up. We're talking about Dale City right now. And he'd be like, oh, I just thought we was talking about Mid-Dale in general. You know who run that? And I just be like, no, you was not in this conversation, bro. So I really don't got no jabs to throw. Like, I could brag about the athletes we got, but we still ain't been winning as much as we should. So there ain't not much I can really say.
And that's something too that I think like kind of gets lost. Like the fact that there's three really good programs within like the same vicinity, there obviously is a lot of talent within that area. So like for those of us that don't really know, like because I feel like if you're not familiar with Midwest City and Dale City, you might not know like when you're in each other's city. So like being that close, talk about like what were the environments around those Dale City, Midwest City, those Dale City, Carl Albert games?
I can say it was packed. Like the atmosphere was crazy. Like any game, like when you're a good opponent, of course, like the game's gonna get hyped up. Everybody's gonna want to see a good game. But like when it's crosstown, like people are posting on Snap, Instagram, Twitter, random people's tagging you've never talked to, and it's just a whole bunch of noise talk on social media, man. Like some people get into it, some people ignore it, but that's kind of how the environment is with that.
And now what because okay, obviously Dale City has had success. I think we saw this season the way they was dominating people. So like what is it like? What is it like playing for Dale City?
Playing for Dale City, man. I don't really want to say like what it's like. Just for me, I feel like I was proud to play for Dale City. I kind of just the coaches we had at the time, Mike Dunn and Coach Jones. They kind of just pushed us to who we wanted to become as a family. Cause they came in my freshman year, so it was just a whole new coaching staff, and we kind of just built up with them. So it meant a lot to us as a team, just building the program back up.
And in doing so, when you kind of like look that they've kept up the winning ways, so to speak, like how does that make you feel knowing that that foundation that you helped laid is being built upon?
It makes me feel proud as a person. It kind of makes me feel like I was bought in, and the youngest beneath us was bought in as well. So it kind of made me feel like we set a good example, especially when we got to the junior and like senior level.
And when I watch your senior tape, I mean, I gotta say it, but I get we need to block the people and we need to put them on the ground, but like some of that felt kind of personal. I was like, within like 2 seconds, do it on the ground, and he's just diving on. He's just doing people dirty, man. Like what?
Hey, I didn't know you seen the high school film, man. I didn't know you seen it. That's one of my favorite films right there.
Like yeah, like I mean, it's just I was like, well, this is because within like 3 seconds, the person's either on the ground or like they're clearly not going to affect the play. And then like I see a pancake, and then you would like start to get up on some of them, and then just immediately push them back down. Like, well, you could let them at least get up like halfway, but you just
No. I was hungry in high school. I'm still hungry now, but I'm telling you, Coach Jones and Coach Dunn, they had us hungry. I wanted to prove a point every time I got on the field.
and do you feel like you accomplished that?
Yes, definitely. I'm still trying to perfect my craft, but I kind of feel like I made my presence known on Friday nights.
And when you kind of look back on your time at Dale City, kind of helping lay the foundation for what it is now, what kind of sticks out to you or means the most to you from your time there?
Just the relationship that was built. Like the same friends I got in high school is the same friends I got now. Of course, I got plenty more relationships from college teammates, but the same 5 or 6 guys that play ball with me in high school, them the same guys that watching me on Saturday, and I'm watching some of them on Saturday. So that's kind of stuck with me the most.
And now, what was it about UCO throughout your recruiting process that made you decide that that's where you wanted to play your college football?
Well, honestly, it was close to home. Even when I committed to UCO, and the first day my mama dropped me off, and I'm probably maybe 30, 35 minutes from home, and she cried the whole time I was packing up into the dorm, and I'm 35 minutes from home. So that's a big part of the reason why I was like UCO might just be it. And then it just gives my mama and my family a better opportunity to come watch games.
And now, when you get here, it is 2021. So you come in, you're the part of the last recruiting class under
Hmm.
Coach Bobek. Now you end up redshirting. So
Yes.
I'm always curious to see because the vast majority of all of you went from starting to playing a bunch to now you're only practicing. What was that experience like going from here you are starting every game, playing probably almost, if not every snap, to now you're just relegated to the sidelines on game days?
As far as like how did it feel when I was being redshirted, like going into high
Yes,
school
sir.
and college? It was a big transition, honestly. It was kind of hard for me to take in, but some of the senior O linemen at the time, like they kept me calm and just kind of just told me like, we're older, like you're gonna get rest, but at the same time, you gotta understand you still got stuff to pick up on. Like you got talent, but it's an experience still. And once I kind of figured that out, it kind of just like it made me take advantage of the red shirt year instead of just having an attitude, poking my lip out, wonder I'm not out there.
And what would you say was the biggest maybe thing that you learned or took away from that redshirt season?
Uh, let's say from that red shirt season, it taught me how to grow up, maturity, and becoming a better leader. While I was a freshman, like I said, coming in from high school, I was being a leader at high school, but it was something I struggled with. I wasn't always the best at being a vocal leader, but me being a freshman with a whole bunch of men that's like I'm 18, some of them were 25, 24, 23. So like me looking up to them, it kind of helped me with my leadership.
And now I noticed because yesterday was the first time watching your high school film, so I was not aware you were primarily, at least in the film I watched, you were playing tackle. People know you now as a guard. So talk about what that adjustment was like going from tackle to guard.
Well, in high school, I was I kind of knew the offense the best as far as being up front on the O line. So like they knew that I was going to end up playing tackle just because of that. But as far as transitioning to guard, I was kind of already getting prepared for it. I knew I was a little undersized, so just me playing tackle transition to guard, it just made me just practice for it going into the summer as far as stance and just mechanics. I had a high school coach that played at OU. His name is Bronson Irwin, and he worked with me a little bit in the off season to get me prepared for that, and Coach Madonna as well.
And what was probably the biggest adjustment for you going from tackle to guard?
The technique, footwork. Some of it's still the same, but you use different techniques in different situations.
And how long would you say it took you before you felt pretty comfortable with the new techniques and all the intricacies of playing guard?
Well, I always felt comfortable. It was just a confidence deal. Like one day I'll be at left guard, one day I'll be at right guard, and some days when I redshirted, like during that season, they tried to have me at center, and I really wasn't too much of a big fan of center, but that's just because I never played it, I've never snapped. So like just coming in from a high school tackle to a center, it was just a lot, but they really had me ready for guard. I was just a confidence thing from bouncing the right to left.
And now I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like people say or think, well, guards are interchangeable. Isn't the right guard the same as the left guard? Like I think people know left tackle is different from right tackle, but they might not know like there are differences between the two. So for those that might not know, like what to you at least maybe were some of the differences between right and left guard?
To me, it was just getting comfortable in the stance, honestly. And like I said, I might take more reps. Like let's say for 6 weeks straight, I'm at right guard, and the left guard gets hurt, but the backup right guard is better at right guard than left guard. So like it'd probably be best for me to move to left guard. The stance may still be there, but as far as the technique of left right coming off the ball or even right left, sometimes it might feel a little wonky, but you kind of just go with the flow.
And now after your redshirt season, Coach Bobek, he steps down. Coach Doral comes in. Now, so during that time, before Doral came in, and maybe after Doral came in, did you ever feel a sense of like undecidedness on whether you wanted to stay at UCO, or were you just committed, like whoever we bring in, I'm going to make this work the best I can?
Well, when Bobek had stepped down, I want to say it was maybe if not the day after the season or the following weekend. It was one or the other. I had reached out to my coach. I want to say maybe I told him about Bobek and he already heard about it. But I want to say maybe a month after that, that's when they really started looking into coaches. And it was probably maybe 3 coaches that they had running for the job at the time. And Coach Doral was one. And they brought in all 3, I want to say maybe 2 coaches. And every time they brought in a coach, I got quarantined. I never got COVID. I just got quarantined. So I never got to meet any of the coaches that they were supposed to be bringing in. But they told me who they thought they was going to win the job, which was, of course, going to be Coach Doral. So when I found that out, I reached out to Coach Dunn, and I asked him what did he think was the best decision for me. And he just told me, like, it's really up to you. But I tell you, I heard that guy, Coach Doral, is a winner. I think you should give it a chance. So when he told me that, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just see where the rest of my class goes as far as the class of 21. And most of it, the ones I was close with stuck it through, like Rob, Noah, TD, Mac, Dom, Kobe. Like when they stayed, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep going and see where this goes.
And did you, once you made that decision, did you ever like give yourself a timeline, like, okay, if I'm not liking how it's going, you know, after spring, I'm gonna leave, or maybe I'll stick out until fall camp? And it, like did you was there ever like a thought of like, a trial period before you said either yay or nay, or was it just like, I've heard good things about Doral. A lot of the guys I'm close with in my class are staying. I'm gonna just stick this out.
Honestly, when Duro had got here, I never really put a date on if I wanted to leave or if I ever thought about leaving. My thought process was just me looking myself in the mirror saying there's no excuse. Got a new coach. We didn't have the best season. So go take what's yours. And if you don't get it, it's on you. We got 4 seniors that just graduated on the O line. Like it's no excuse now. That was my thought process. I had no time of thinking on if I didn't do this or do that, leave by fall or leave by spring. My thought process was just go earn it for myself first. Go prove to yourself that you can still play. It's been a year. It's a new coach. Like show him what you can do. And if he believes in you, we can see where we go from there.
And I know Coach Doral is very involved in the offensive line. So now you mentioned losing the 4 starters, but then you're also probably learning a new scheme, maybe some new techniques. What was that transition period like from Coach Bobek to Coach Doral in those regards?
Well, first we definitely got to learn different play callings. We definitely got to do that. Then we have to also just build a bond within each other as a group. And then just as far as the techniques, like every time we had a meeting, we're watching some NFL coach break down the technique with an O lineman that's doing it in slow motion to doing it at normal speed. And then we'll break down our film and then we'll go into the field and we'll literally go through the drills. We'll go through it in slow mo. Like we have like a little pre-practice. We'll go through it, not necessarily slow mo, but we'll just go through it, just kind of going through the motions, figuring out what we're doing, and then we'll turn back around and do it live full speed.
And now you were able to earn a starting job there. And so like now, talk about what that meant to you coming off of a red shirt to not only start, but to be able to do that under a new staff to where clearly you had earned their trust and respect enough to be a starter as a redshirt freshman.
Well, once I earned their trust, that was the first step. The second step was don't be complacent, and then the third step was prove that you can do this on Saturday. Now you're going to get the same people every day. That's good. You know their weakness, they know yours, but can you put this on Saturday?
And your first start it came on the road. So here you are, it's your first collegiate game, it's a road game, it's the first game under a new regime, and you all do not score in that game. What was the emotions of, like, because what should be a joyous occasion for you, the result was not what anybody was hoping for. What were those emotions like?
Honestly, I was hurt. I can't take a loss, man. I tear up a little bit. You can ask some of the coaches, some of the teammates. I tear up after a loss. I just be so mad. Just not only for me, just for us. Like I want to see everybody smile. So it really makes me mad when we lose. But I remember one thing Coach Drew said after the game, and we went in the locker room, and some words were said, and I remember at the end he told us like, raise your hand if this was your first collegiate start, and I'd say 50% of the roster raised their hand. So like just like that, just seeing that right there just told us like we got our butt whooped, but we do got 17, 19-year-olds on the field for their first start. So we did have to remember that. We wasn't looking at that going into the game, but that's something that I learned that it do matter. You may think it don't, but it do matter.
And that was something I made sure to point out. I think on that weekly episode was like, we got to look at a lot of changes that was made, not in terms of just like this is the coaching staff's first game, coaching actual game together, but a lot of these guys, this is their first meaningful action. So,
And playing together too.
Right. And I thought, there were moments in that game where I felt like, maybe a pass here, a pass there, it could have been different. So I was not too discouraged heading into the Emporia game. However, I did not expect that Emporia game that we got. Now, talk about, because here it's your first home game. You're coming off the disappointing loss. And then to go out there and beat a good Emporia team like that, really a physical game, I felt like was really a statement game for how you all wanted to play under Coach Goudeau. What was that? What was that moment? What was that like for you?
I'm not gonna lie. I had a couple talks with, like I said, like close friends as far as like Noah, Kobe, Rob, and like we felt like we let Doro down. Like him coming here, him like investing so much into us, bringing in new staff, just his actions show louder than words. I'm gonna just put it like that. And we felt like we let him down. Like we wanted to win right there. Like we wanted that win just to prove something. So having that first game back at home, we knew where the whole team's mindset, but just at least us four, we was telling each other, like, man, we gotta do whatever we gotta do, like, to not see that face, the faces we seen in the locker room after that first game.
And you all went, I think it was like a 5-2 start, and then there was that little bit of a slump before you all ended the season with the win over Central Missouri to get the first winning season for the program since 2018. Going into that game, obviously there was no postseason hopes, so at that point it was just for a winning record for pride. But what did it mean to you all to win that game and see your record have one more in the win column than in the loss column?
Well, really, that whole week, it was the theme of the week was just like, let's find our why and a reason to do it for the seniors that week. So that's really what motivated us the most. Like I said, I want to say, well, we had Steph. Our last year was Steph, so we just had a lot of reasons to play hard, and then of course trying to finish with a positive record. And it's just that's really what it is, just the seniors.
And so now there was a lot of momentum going into the off season. I know there was hopes that we're still returning a bulk of the team. There were some additions that we were excited about. Talk about like what the vibe was that off season and going into the season about achieving the goals that may have been perceived about the upcoming season.
Well, first we just trying to take it step by step, day by day, and then eventually just build from there. We did have goals that we come together as a position group. Like for the O line, I wish I had my notebook, but I haven't written down. But for the O line, some of them be like average 4 yards a carry. Let's try to get 150, rushing a game, 1 sack or less, just like things of that nature. And then of course, like team goals would be win the MIAA, win conference, beat 2 top teams that's ranked, win homecoming. Like it's just things like that. Like we set little goals, and then them little goals are supposed to build them to the big goals further down
the line. And the season started off, at least in that first half, it was very impressive against Kearney. The way you all were able to establish the run game there, the protection. Talk about what the vibes, what the mindset was after that season opening win against Kearney.
We know we beat a good opponent, but at the same time, we know we gotta be better if we wanted to have the type of season we imagined to have. So we celebrated it in the locker room the day after, or the night after the game. But the next day, we on to the next team.
And a minute ago, you mentioned that winning homecoming was something that you all wanted to do. It wasn't until after that game when I talked to your former teammate Lane Grantham, he mentioned to me that this was the first homecoming game that he had won, and he had been a part of the team since 2019. Going into that game, I mean, in terms of like postseason hopes, that was a must-win game because you all had kind of been on a slide there, and you all were able to pull out a very thrilling win. How were you all able to, after I think maybe Mo West was sometime before that? How were you all able to come together and win that football game?
Man, just holding each other accountable and just doing our 111. If everybody worried about their assignment, that'll take care of everything. Nobody's gonna be perfect, but if you can give it your best to take care of your assignment and rely on the next person to do that and just keep taking strength for your teammates, it's the only way we're going to be able to get the job done.
And the rest of the season, it didn't go the way you had hope. I think that most supporters had hope. But I look at that Pitt State game. And I was really impressed by the effort and fight you all showed, because I feel like it would have been very easy at that time to just pack it in, saying, okay, we're playing a really good football team on the road. We don't really have anything to play for. But you all gave them a game for all 4 quarters. I remember watching that broadcast, and their commentators were like legitimately worried. What was the mindset going into that game, and what were you feeling after that game, of seeing you all hanging in there with one of the best in the conference and in the country?
Well, going into that game, the mindset is, don't roll over for nobody. You know, we all know every team's gonna bring their best, so we need to do the same. Just because we're not playing the best or having the best season that we wanted to have doesn't mean just go out there and just get our teeth kicked in, especially going away playing at Pitt State. And after the game, like I wasn't there, I was just getting off surgery, but I know coming into the locker room the next day or whatever meeting, it's just it was just something within the team that just told us like once we find it, like we can get it done. We just got to find it first.
And when you say find it, what do you think was the it that you all were missing?
I want to say chemistry, honestly. I kind of feel like we always had a good bond, but it just seemed like the stronger and stronger it got, it's just like nobody hesitates. Like we all, I know the person job next to me, and they know the same thing I got to do. Just things of that nature.
And now you mentioned that you were coming off surgery for that. That was the year where you did get dinged up. What was that experience like? Um, Getting the injury, having the surgery, the
Mm.
recovery. What was that experience like for you?
Uh, it sucked a little bit at first, man. I've been hurt. I've never been injured, and I'm scared of needles. So once I found out I had that surgery, I went up to the doctor by myself. I walked out in tears. I was like, oh man, like surgery, man, I ain't like it ain't no coming back for me. But I got to my team at practice, told them the bad news, and they just told me to keep my head up. And I'm gonna stay in their prayers. But like ever since then, it's just been a grind. It's just back, just me hungry again and just trying to just keep finding ways to prove to myself that I can do this.
And what was the moment when you realized post injury that you could still do what you were doing prior to the injury?
Um, I lack the confidence a little bit in some spots, but I can say, once I started running with the team again, I was starting to, come in top five, top four, the top three, the top two consistently. That's when that smile started to show up a lot more.
And was there because I remember talking to Lane about it, and I remember him saying he was so maybe nervous for that first contact after the injury. Was there any kind of nerves there when you put the pads on for the first time post injury?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about it every day, 7 days leading into the first padded practice. But at the same time, I couldn't wait to prove to myself like I just needed to go hit something. Once I go hit something, I'm not thinking about it no more, and that's all I needed to do is get in that stance and hit something live. And after that first snap, it was just back to how it used to be.
And now going into this season, I think expectations maybe from outside was kind of low. I think you all were picked towards the bottom, similar to 2022, in the
Yeah.
preseason conference standings. I had said that I felt like given the experience and the talent, like if we wanted to make that run with the core, this had to be the year. And so I think going into that Langston game, um, there was a sense of unknown from people that I had talked to about like, are we gonna see kind of what we saw in 2022, or are we gonna see what we saw the previous season? I mean, obviously the 72-0 win over Langston was a pretty good start. What kind of was the mindset going into that game? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, you all surprised a lot of people with just the way you all were physical, the execution, and just the domination from start to finish.
Man, honestly, I can say the disrespect, like us getting picked seventh, eighth. it didn't surprise us, but it's just motivation. And I feel like, well, I want to say this is Coach Duro's second or third year. I kind of feel like we just honestly just grabbing on to everything. We know how things is being ran. We kind of know what to do on offense. We got a new DC, but he came in knowing what he wanted to do, and I feel like he proved that as well. So just after us going against each other every day, talking noise, just helping each other perfect each other's craft, figuring out each other's weaknesses, we were just ready to see who's going to be the first person to make a play on Saturdays. That's all it was after that. And whoever made that first play, the next person trying to follow up.
And now after that win, you all had the arduous task of hosting then second-ranked Central Missouri. Now the previous year up there in Warrensburg, you all were handed, I believe, a 24-point loss in that game. Obviously, they had the man who's now won 2 straight Harlan Hills, Zach Zabrowski. There's a stark difference between Langston to Central Missouri. And so I felt like we would learn truly a lot about this team with how we played in that football game. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the vast majority of people were surprised that not only did you all win the football game, but did so in the way that you all did. Like, you clearly were the better team. What was the mindset going into that game? And was there any kind of like affirmation following the win of like, okay, we are a really good football team?
Well, we knew we had to stay humble. We did know who we were playing, Langston. No disrespect to them, but we also knew what we got coming up the following week. So first we got to take care of business versus Langston. And then we got to really go, earn our respect and defend our hometown up at the field. So just going into that week, it was just winning the physical battle and just executing the game plan. And that's something that we had the opportunity to do last time we played UCM back at their place. We wasn't able to do that, and we see how that game turned out. But, this game, we trusted what the coaches put on paper. Every time they showed us something different, we came to the sideline, made adjustments, and we executed.
And I remember talking to Coach Duro after that game, because you all had a trip up there in Kearney, which is a notoriously tough place to play. And he brought up the fact that, in his 2 years prior, the only road wins that you all have had was against Lincoln and NSU, who were two of the weaker teams in the conference. So going into that game, knowing the stakes of that game, did you all feel any added pressure, or was it just we just got to go up there and play our game the best that we can?
No, I wouldn't say added pressure. We had some new guys come in, so we didn't even want to put that narrative into their head that we're a losing team on the road. What we was focusing on is let's find a way to bring the most energy and effort we can and consistently bring it. We know it's going to be a momentum switch. We know they're going to make plays. We know we're going to make plays, but we got to consistently bring the energy and effort. We see where that takes us.
And so after Kearney, now we're 3-0 for the first time, and I forgot how many years. It's kind of uncharted territory, I think, for the vast majority of you all. How were you all able to kind of stay grounded during that time? Because I feel like it could have gotten very easy to maybe not necessarily get complacent, but believe some of your own hype. How were you all able to continue to go out there and really dominate? I mean, the next stretch of games.
Well, like I said, every day we trying to expose each other weakness. Like it may sound like something you don't want to hear, but at the same time, that's what we're here for. So every day if they got to do this move on me, I'm gonna do something to them to counteract that. So that's kind of what we focused on within practice. At the same time, we still gonna find a way to get better. And as far as just when we talk to our coaches, every day they walked in and reminded us, like, go take it this week. Don't think just because you won last week, that's last week, that's in the past. We already forgot about it. They forgot about it. This next team, we're going to show up ready to play off. Y'all need to be showed up ready to play as well. We're going to prepare y'all for that, but it starts today.
And the 2 games early in the season that really impressed me was the Fort Hays and the Northwest game, because those are usually 2 of the more physical teams. And in the past couple of years, I felt like we hadn't necessarily matched up well across the board. So to see the way you all dominated both those teams, did that do anything for you all's confidence there? Because Northwest had a very good defense coming into Edmond, and you all ran through them like a hot knife through butter. So, like, did that do anything for your confidence, or was it just like, okay, this is just another day at the office for us?
It kept our confidence high. We always want to play. The more confidence we got, the faster we play, and that's when I feel like we're the most lethal. So it definitely did boost our confidence, but at the same time, we also have to realize the goal. And every time we executed the game plan the coaches drew up, we was able to smile during the game and after the game.
And now I want to go back to the Northeastern State game, because that was a very weird game. It started off the way I think we had all expected. Jalen broke that long touchdown run.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to score off a trick play. We scored again. You figure, okay, all right, like they kind of had their fun, but then you blink and you look up and it's a 40-14 game.
Yeah.
At that point in time, was there panic on the sideline, or like what kind of was the vibe when the hole was that big?
But believe it or not, there was nobody who was panicking on the sideline. We was realizing, like, we was all in reality that, like, we're digging ourselves in a deeper and deeper hole. But there wasn't no panic. Like I said, it's the chemistry. Like, the chemistry we just kept bringing each other in. We kept pointing out the problems, and we kept finding we was trying to find ways to resolve it.
And how big was Madison's touchdown before the half? Because I felt like, just from watching the broadcast and listening to the commentators say, like, how the energy was gone from that Northeastern State sideline. How big of a touchdown was that for you?
Man, it was. I'm not gonna lie, that touchdown was so electrifying. I didn't know it was Ridge until I got to the sideline, because we call him Unk for real. He looking like a little old head on the so we call him Unk. So, like, I'm not knowing it's him. I just see it's a touchdown. So, I throw my hands up. I'm squinting. I'm getting on field goal, so I'm getting ready for field goal. I come to the sideline. I'm like, who make that play? They like, it was Unk. And when I found out it was him, I was running up and down the sideline looking for him. So yeah, it was a big play for us, man. That play definitely did help spark it back up.
And you all were able to pull that out. Probably the most craziest President's Cup in quite some time. Not only did it keep you all undefeated at that point in time, but it kept the cup in Edmond for 10 straight years. What does that mean to you? Being a part of the team that kept the cup for a full decade.
Well, it's a tradition, man. The Broncos is known for whooping up on the Riverhawks, the River Chickens, whichever one their names is, and it's gonna stay that way. So every time we bring that cup back, it's a good day for us, man. It's a good day for us. That's the only goal. Just bring the cup back, get back to Edmond.
And now, after the game, because I'm sure obviously you're happy that you all won and you kept the cup, but like, what was the vibe post game in the locker room? Was it more relief? Was it anger? Was it joy? Was it a mixture of all three? Like, what kind of was that vibe?
Well, it really wasn't. Like, I can say in the locker room, Coach Doyle brought us in. He said a couple words to us, and then he ended off, saying, like, this is on him. He felt like, we could have been prepared better, and, we need to just come together as a whole and just go out there, and we're going to find a way to accomplish what we came down here to do. So when we end up doing that, we did end up doing that. And then coming back in the end of the game, man, it was like a movie, man. Just sitting in there, seeing the president come in, hold up the cup. They was recording. People were splashing water everywhere, dancing. It felt like a movie. Like, it felt like something that should have never happened, but, like, we made it happen.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because that was my thought. I was like, that as thrilling of a game as that was, that shouldn't have happened.
I know.
Huh. Now, the following week after that, you all had the biggest test and in the biggest UCO game in 20 years when you all hosted Pitt. It was on television. A lot of hype around that. There was immensely more media members there beside myself. What like, did the gravity of the situation or the gravity of the moment, did that register to you all, or were you all trying to block it out and just say like it's just another game? Let's just go out there and do what we've done all the weeks
Well,
prior.
like of course, we're in touch with reality. Like I said, everybody's being tagged on Twitter. Every time we get on Twitter or Instagram, we see something about it. So like, it's funny looking back on it, but like just in the moment, like I said, we're just it's imano. Every day we show up at practice, we trying to find ways to expose each other to help perfect each other's craft, and we're gonna put that to the test on Saturday. That's what we think about during the week.
And then you all came up short in that game. And what I thought was most telling, after the game, because I remember when you all lost to Pittsburgh on homecoming back in 2022, and I was kind of surprised by the um maybe by the vibe post game. Like I didn't see. I'm not saying like you all that the loss didn't affect you, but like there was a stark difference between then and this past season, because like I remember
Mhm.
running into Delso and his eyes were super red. And I'm like, all right, like this is different, because this is telling me like this loss really, 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 really hurt. And it was almost weird because I felt like, aside of maybe like the fans and myself, Coach Draw was the only one that like was I guess like normal about it. I mean, like I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you all wanted to win the game, but to to see the emotion on you all's faces, what were you all feeling like? Did you just feel like you just let everybody down? Because as Coach Dora had pointed out, like if you went out, you could still win the conference,
Mhm.
still get to the playoffs.
We don't feel like we let anybody down. We respect the fact we got beat against a good opponent, a good football team. We just feel like I said, as far as them goals that we had, I talked about earlier, like averaging 5 yards per carry, rushing for 150, 6 or 7 or 8 explosive plays, one or less sacks, just things like that. It didn't pop up in green that week for us. It popped up in red. We didn't execute the game plan the way it needed to be executed, and that's why the outcome was the way it was.
And now I said, because you all were going to Mo West, which I felt like this was very like a storybook as the way that the way that this was going, because that was the very first game under Coach Duro, was up there in was it Saint Joe's, and you all were shut out. And here you have a chance to not only atone that, but do what you all kind of didn't do in 2022, when you all lost for the first time, I think, for the third time after the 5-2 start, where things kind of went downhill for you all. How were you all able to, or I guess I should about to say, how were you all able to go into that game, um, with the previous 2022 experience of like, all right, we can't let this snowball into the remainder of the season, because we still have a chance to do something really special.
Mhm. Well, we just like I said, after each game we just put it behind us. We learn from it, and we get ready for the next opponent, and just see what they bring to the table. And we need to be ready to match their intensity.
And the Missouri Western game was definitely a weird one, because obviously the weather was terrible. It
Very.
was a very low scoring game. There was the weather delay, and that's something that I feel like kind of gets overlooked in things like like what is that experience like? Because I imagine it's going to be very tough. Here you all are, just sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, what is that experience like of a weather delay as a player?
Man, it's lame, man. I've never. It was my first time going through it, having to play a game, then go in the locker room, then come back out and warm up for 2 minutes, and then load right up to 3rd and 6, and then a series later, go back in the locker room, and now you loading up on defense at 2nd and 4. Like it felt a little awkward, but I'm glad we got the experience to learn from it. So if it ever pop up again, we're gonna be new to it.
And I felt like that the weather delay helped them more than it did you all, because they came out there and caught fire. And I
Hmm.
remember in the Discord, you know, it was like, well, I mean, maybe we can blame the weather delay on this or this and that. But like the way you all fought in that last 5 or so minutes of that fourth quarter, was really similar to what I saw in that Employee State game in 2022. How are you all able to not pack it in there? I mean, like when things were like, this is just one of those days, this is not going to work for us. Well, how are you all able to continue to keep hope and continue to fight?
I'm not gonna lie, Coach Doyle brought us in together. I want to say mid-game, and right before overtime, and we kind of just had a heart to heart, and he just told us to more or less lock back in. Let's focus on our 111, and let's take advantage of the opportunity that God has given us. And we went out there and we fought for it. Don't know how we got it, but we got it.
And that final drive to tie the game, like just talk about that what that experience was like, because the defense had rose to the occasion. Kobe obviously rose to the occasion. He had that punt return, and then the pass breakup. Dawson comes in the game cold, and he's tasked with leading this game time drive. What was that? What was that experience like? Because I mean, like, a lot was riding on that one drive there.
Man, I'm telling you, some of the stuff that happened this year feel like a movie. All I remember is us breaking it down, saying change the momentum. Then we said Osho on 2. We broke it down on Osho. We took the field. I remember it was one incompletion. Then after that, I remember I ran right, ran left, ran right, and then we was at the 1 yard line trying to do the Eagles quarterback sneak. That's the only thing I remember from that drive.
And now, okay, in that, because that was getting very scary, because there was no timeout. So I'm like, oh, he's not getting in.
Man, I swear we got in all 3 times. I was confused out there. I looked at the ref. If he didn't put them hands up, I just got lined back up. Like, man, just line up. I'm for real. I kept looking. I'm like, again?
Well, okay, wait. It's funny you say that, because even when he did score, I felt like it took him quite a while to get the signal. I was like, bro, like Dawson's whole half is it?
And then the D line was like jumping off sides, trying to like I don't know, but they I don't know. The rest was too in tune with the game to make calls that last 30 seconds of that fourth quarter. It seemed like.
And getting into overtime, because after the defense came up big, you all only needed a field goal. Obviously, I'm sure you all would have liked to score that touchdown. But when Nicky's kick sailed through those uprights, I saw the sideline, and I mean, rightfully so, just erupted. What was the peer just like? Was it more so relief, or was it more so of like, okay, if we do this, we can do anything?
That was exactly what we thinking. We just kept telling each other, like, we can keep finding ways to come together when things ain't going right. And we tell ourselves, like, against a better team, they're not gonna let us flip the script. But if we able to come together and hold each other accountable and fight through adversity, that's what we're gonna need when we play teams that's further down the line.
And then now, because it doesn't get any easier, because then you go on the road against Washburn. A win there, you all get at least a share of the MIAA title for the first time in program history. Washburn's record was not good. Now, I have said all week they were in some close games. It's their senior day. You get super strength when it's senior day. They have nothing to lose. Like, this is their bowl game. And it was what I expected. I didn't expect Washburn to like not put up a fight. But I felt like offensively you all were kind of like stopping yourselves at a period of time. Like, there'd be drives and it would look good, and then like something would happen and it would stall. Like, how were you all able to kind of like not let that frustration get to you all during those drives where you had something going and then it just stalled?
Man, we just kept counting on each other, man. You know, every time offense came off the field, defense running on the field, you know, I go straight to the tent and I dap them up. I say, hey, go get us one. We're going to figure it out. And it's the same vice versa. If they give up even 3 points versus 7, they going to come to us and they going to say, go get us, like y'all know what to do. And, you know, sometimes that's what we need to hear in the moment. We see defense get a stop. It's like offense looking at each other, nodding our head like, yup, it's our turn. So, you know, just feeding off of each other and just really helped us stay in that one.
And now you had some big scores in that full quarter. Now I do have to ask a question because when Dawson broke that run, you know, I was in the press box with Chris Bragg, I was like, oh yeah, this man is gone. And then like as soon as I say that,
you thought he was going to score?
Well, okay, because
you thought he was going to score.
Okay, well, here's the thing, because he had the like 50-yarder right against Langston. I'm like, all right, there's a similar distance here. Like I'm thinking if he can't squish, he's gonna get further than what he did. But then as soon as I say that, I'm like, oh, this man might not even get to like the 50. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like
I already know. Look, one thing about Dawes, he'll catch you off guard. Like he like a little Brock Purdy. Like when he take off, it's like, oh, but like there ain't nothing where it's like you putting your hands on your head. Like no way. Like one thing about Dawson, he'll get out a little bit, but once he turn around once, he already know he getting caught. So he turned around once, he turned around twice, and he started running towards like the side. Oh wow, yeah, he getting caught. We might as well go line up on that ball.
Okay, but did you expect him to get further down the field though before that happened, or do you feel like he got a good enough amount of ground by his standards?
I'm just happy he got us that far because we was at the 4, and like I said, I seen him taking off. Like you know, I'm not throwing my hands up till you get in that end zone, or at least you know, like clear as day, he finna score. I'm telling you, when he looked back to the left, I done seen it enough. I already knew when he looked back to the left and looked back to the right and started running sideways. I said, yeah. I said right hash, O-line. We started running to that right hash. Go ahead and get set.
And now because it got very dicey because I think you were trying to run the clock out and was not able to do that. Offensively, like did you? I mean, I'm sure there was disappointment, but like, did you feel like if you all did not win that game, if I think it might have been Zane or Noah did not block that a kick, would you all have felt that like it was that play, it was that drive, you know, that would have cost you all that moment in history?
Well, one play doesn't tell a ball game. You know, it starts from the time the clock starts to the time the clock ends. But you know, it would have definitely took a lot of stress off of the whole team if offense executes and get that first down. And of course, like any other team in the game, they in the ball.
And when that kick is blocked, just talk about like what was the emotion like in that locker room, because obviously the job is not done yet. There's still a lot of other ball left, but recognizing that you all just did something that a lot of talented players and teams throughout the past 20 plus years of UCO football has tried and failed to do. What was that locker room like?
Man, we was happy, man. It was a whole bunch of yelling, banging on lockers, jumping up and down. Some people was eating fruit snacks. Some people was like spraying water. Like it was a whole lot of excitement. You know, we was taking pictures after the game. You know, it was a whole lot of excitement, man.
Okay, well, I gotta look at who was eating the fruit snacks.
I'm not gonna lie. After the games, I go sneak the fruit snacks in my bag while they not looking. So I was one of
them. I'm not mad at that. Fruit snacks are very good. It's just I'm just trying to picture like the locker room. There's water going everywhere, like you said. There's happy, there's banging on lockers. I'm just picturing people just like chilling there, eating fruit snacks, and this is going on around them.
Indeed.
That is good. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I remember talking to some of you all post game because I was lucky enough to be able to go to that game thanks to our great AD Mr. Stan Wagon. And there was a sense of like, okay, this is nice and all, but we want the whole thing. And I remember talking to Coach Duro, and he said he could tell there was like a weight lifted off you all's shoulders.
Yes.
So now talk about that because obviously I feel like from maybe after Northwest, maybe even prior to that, from Northwest on, it felt like it wasn't. I don't want to say you all were pressing, but it didn't feel like you all had the same like freeness as it was earlier on in the season. Did that ever get a point where it became like all consuming, like the pressure, the weight of making history?
It may have felt that way, but honestly, we just wasn't cutting it loose how we did the first 3 or 4 games of the season. That's really what the problem was that stuck out comparing, beginning of the season to what we're talking about now. It's just we just wasn't cutting it loose the way we should have. And if we would have did that, it probably would have made them games, I wasn't going to say easier, but it would have just, it wouldn't have been as stressful as the way we made
it. But now having gone through that, because I remember Coach Duro, I think it was funny because when he was telling me this, he kind of seemed like he was confused or baffled by that, but then it clicked to him like, oh, wait, this is the first time that like this program and the men at locker room have had this experience. So now having this experience, how much do you feel like that will help you all this upcoming season?
It kind of just, the way I look at it is we know what we can accomplish. So what else more can we do? Are we satisfied? We've been here before. Are we going to stop once we get here again? Or are we going to push for an extra 2 or 3 reps? So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Like we've been here before. We know what to do. So there's no need to act brand new. When we get here, the same time we got last year, we need to learn from what we did wrong at the same time we got around this time.
And then you had senior day against Emporia. We know I've been critical of it. A lot of supporters was critical of the way certain quarterback on Emporia was getting coverage over the guys literally down the road from the papers. That I don't lie to you, that felt very personal. Just the way you all handled Emporia, to put it lightly. I mean, did you all need that extra motivation going into the game? Because I felt like it being senior day and a chance to win the conference outright would have been enough in general. But like, did that add any more to you all's motivation?
I'll just put it like this: any motivation the world want to give us, just keep giving it to us. We're gonna accept it with open arms every time.
And after that, when you all finally got that trophy, like what were the emotions maybe for you personally when you finally touched that trophy, saw that trophy, something that not too long ago really seemed like a pipe dream?
Man, I feel like I accomplished something. Like, working out every day, not only on the field, but off the field. Like, it takes a lot. It's a toll on your body, man, on your mental. So some people ain't able to do this stuff every day. So just putting in this time and effort with the same guys I came in with, and even some new brothers that I done met, it's just made my day just seeing everybody smile, just seeing that we all got the same goal and we all got to put our hand on that same goal and accomplish it.
And now I know because I know you mentioned earlier, the bond with Noah and Kobe and all those guys, right? And obviously, when Duro was hired, this was one of like the goals. Like we're like, oh, okay, like this is like a legitimate chance, a possibility. But when it became reality, like did it did it ever? I don't know. Like did it validate maybe you all's decision to stick it out when you could have explored different options when that uncertainty happened 3 years ago?
I really wouldn't say it validated it. It's just like I said, it just made us feel proud. It made us feel like we did something for a reason. Like not even necessarily wasted time. I would have still been happy to play here, regardless how the season went. Man, I love Coach Duro, and I tell him every chance I get him. He's a big part of the reason why I love football. So regardless, it wouldn't have made or break a decision if I would have stayed or not.
And then now you didn't really have much time to necessarily celebrate because like the next day, right, was the selection show.
Yeah.
What was that experience like when you saw Central Oklahoma's name come across one of those brackets? What was that moment like for you all?
Like I said, just looking over to my right, seeing everybody smiling and clapping, and I'm already knowing they just sending the videos, to their family. Their family just feeling proud for us. Like I said, it just felt like another good day, man. It's just things you hope, you wish, and you pray for. You seeing it come true. Everybody get the same opportunities as everybody else, so we feel blessed, man.
And then getting to host that playoff game, and then winning that playoff game, and then winning the playoff game in the fashion that you all won that playoff game. Um, what like was the mindset any different going into that playoff game than it was the previous 11 games, or was it kind of similar because here it is now like you lose and there is no more next week where during the season at least for 11 weeks you're guaranteed another game.
I'm not gonna lie, the mindset was at the end of the day, defend our turf, regardless of who coming here. It's a standard that's held, and we gonna handle that when the time is right. So just that's all that was. We already knew who we had to play after we figured it out. We got to put the game plan together, but at the end of the day, we got to defend our turf. This is our place. This is our fans. This is our family.
And getting that playoff win for the first time in over 20 some odd years, um, did the gravity of that moment like sink into you all once you all won that game? Or did it take a while, maybe after the fact, for that, the gravity of it to kind of sink in for you all?
Honestly, it still didn't feel real, but like I said, it was a blessing. Like I can say after that game, that was probably the longest I stayed on the field after the game. Any other game, home or away, I'm out there maybe 5-10 minutes. You got to catch me while I'm out there. I'm gone. But after that game, like man, I was probably one of the last 5 people off the field. I was just really just out there, just seizing the moment, just really enjoying what just took place.
And then obviously it didn't end the way that we had wanted it to end up there in Michigan against Ferris State, who obviously won the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in seeing that, I felt like, and I think I said this, just like, all right, now we know we can play and beat the big dogs in the MIAA. Now we see, what it's going to take to compete and win with the big dogs across all Division Two. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how does that help you all now having that experience of getting a playoff win, then being on the other side of a playoff game? How does that help you all as you prepare to not only repeat as conference champs this year, but make a deeper run?
Well, we know what to expect now. So, we definitely gonna learn from all the mistakes that, we showed on film the previous season. So when we get there, just hopefully we take advantage of the opportunity that's presented.
And now, you earned first team all conference, I mean, MIAA Offensive Lineman of the Year. Were you surprised that you got that honor when they told you, or did you feel like your body of work kind of spoke for itself that honor should have been yours?
I don't want to say I was surprised. We really don't talk too much about accolades, but there was a point in time where me, Noah, and Rob, we had a conversation. I want to say one time during practice, and I forgot how it got brought up. He just randomly got brought up, and we just kind of looked each other in the eye and just said, like, one of us three got to get something this year. Like we gonna get that ring. We're gonna get a ring somehow, but just like one of us gotta be our name gotta be in that wall when you walk in the UCO underneath the All American first team. Somebody, one of us got to. So, after getting the lineman of the year and like the R region, it was kind of just the next step. We just saying like, do I qualify for it? Do they think I'm good enough? And once I got the All American, that was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, because you were All American by several different services. You were first team by the AFCA, second team by D2CCA, second team by D2Football.com, second team by Don Hanson Football Gazette, second team by College Football Network, and then first team by the Walter Camp Foundation. First, were you aware that like that many outlets and entities gave out All Americans? I mean, I felt like they had to be like, dang, how many?
It was a couple times. TD Terrell had like either texted me or tagged me, and like I didn't read it all the way. Like sometimes I'd just be waking up at 9 a.m. and I see he tagged me, so I just I just open it and I'd be like, "What is this? Like a camp or something?" He'd be like, "I don't know what it is. I think we just made another All American thing." And then like Coach Doro will call us and like let us know. We'd be like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was." For real, like I've never heard of the Walter something, but I know about it now though. So,
so when you got all of those honors though, like what does that mean to you personally though? Because like I know you mentioned that like individual awards or accolades really isn't like the main thing for you all, but like what does getting those honors mean to you?
man, it means a lot, man. I feel like every time my name pop up on something, the first thing I do is send it to my mom. Whatever I got to do to make her smile, that's what I'm gonna do. So every time another award pop up, I just send it to her, and she doesn't really know what it means. She just know like I did something good at something I love, and she'll just give me a call and say, "Congrats, you deserved it. Thank God."
And I think I had asked, might have been Kobe this after the Washburn game, like seeing like the success you all have, like can be used to inspire the next generation at you all's respective schools. Like I remember telling him, like it seems like the town of Woka is like immensely behind you. Like, what does that mean to you? And so, like, earning all these All Americans, the All Conference, winning the conference championship, knowing that, like, maybe now 5, 10, 15 plus years from now, like you could be used as an example of like what excellence from Del City football is. What does that mean to you, knowing that like maybe even now and in the future that you can be used as a role model or an example about the good that can come out of Del City?
Well, first, I want to thank for being even blessed to being in this position. But, I feel honored. Honestly, I feel like it's a way of giving back. The same way my coaches invested in me, I went out here and took care of the business I need to take care of. Hopefully one day I'm able to go back and, just give away some knowledge of the game and off the field as well.
And now, when you got these awards, did you tell Coach Dunn this? Because I mean, he was the one that you went to ask whether or not you should give the new staff a chance. Like, did you tell him, and what was his reaction to it?
Well, I didn't reach out to him personally, but I did. And when I posted my highlight tape, that's kind of when I, posted on Twitter and Instagram about the rewards. Like, really, only you just have to know me at the time that I got the reward. But when I posted my highlight tape, that's kind of when I made it known, and then he ended up seeing it. And he just said like, "Good job, Trell. You deserve it. You're a great guy. I just remember all the things you did back then, and it's translating to who you is now." And, same for Coach Jones. He basically said the same thing.
And what did their words mean to you?
It means a lot, man. It's just for me to know that they're still invested in my life. Even though they got their own with their own family and their own coaching that they got, that the fact they still keep up. It just gives me memories of reasons why I just keep going, keep finding ways to push.
And now when you look back on the season, because I know you mentioned like the 5 yards you carried, the 150 yards rushing. You all obliterated all of those. I feel like every offensive statistic we were setting school records. So from that standpoint, do you all feel like you hit all those like stat type of goals?
Uh, I feel like we did. Yeah, I feel like we did. Of course, we always go, shoot for better, but we consistently hit our goals. Yes, I feel like we did.
And when you look back on that, because I mean there has been some really good offenses just here in the past decade or so. When you all see the numbers that you put up, the yards you put up, the points that came with the success, like how much pride do you all take, as an offensive line, knowing that like we paved the way for this?
Mhm. I can put an example like this. Like, let's say we have not even a bad day of practice, but like a slow day of practice. Like Coach Curley will bring it up. Sometimes middle of practice he'll bring it up. Sometimes after practice he'll bring it up, and he'll kind of just remind us like y'all are the number one offense. Like, remember that, regardless of how today was. Show back up tomorrow. Be confident. Let's get back to the basics of who we are, and let's put it on the field. And it'll be the same with if Coach Dole pulled the O line to the side. There's times where we wanted to switch up the game plan and see if this will work out, and then we didn't like it. And we tried to switch up the game plan, and we kind of just came to agreement like we're overthinking things. At the same way we got to prepare for people, they got to prepare for us. Until they prove that they can stop what we doing, we ain't changing nothing that we got going.
And something that I made sure to touch on throughout the weekly episodes that could just get lost in all the sheer domination and the yards and the wins was like this team seemed extremely close. Like 2022, at least from those seniors, the way I at least was able to see from the outside, they looked very close. It looked like they really cared about each other. And this year, it looked like you all truly loved and cared for each other. Talk
Mhm.
about what the bond and the chemistry is within that Richardson Stadium locker room.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you play for this team and you're just a good person, you can have a conversation with anybody on the team on any level, from being a friend to a teammate to even being a brother. Like, you can honestly, if you put yourself out there to this team that you're a good person, you know, hey man, how you doing? Are you doing good? "Oh, okay, have a good day." Like, I can say that to anybody on the team, and they say it back.
And when you look back on this past season as a whole, I mean, I feel like aside from winning the whole thing, um, do you feel like all the goals you all set, um, maybe for the first time in a long time, that you all can say like we accomplished maybe 75, 85, 90%
Mhm.
of what we set out to do.
Yeah, of course, we definitely did. We still got a couple left on the board. I need to go back in and reread it. It's about that time of the year where we kind of go back and reevaluate the goals, but there's still a couple on the board that we left off.
And now I know this time of year it gets very scary. My DMs was blowing was blowing up from conservative fans. Was like, all right, we know what time it is, what time of the year it is. We know the horses that we have. We know what could or could not happen. Now, the main focus was obviously on what TD was going to do. And I was like,
Hmm.
yes, okay, obviously we need TD. But like you're forgetting we had other All-Americans like yourself that could also explore other options. But you all decided to come back as a whole, really. I mean, it seemed like there was given where we are in this time in the sport, very little roster turnover, especially from the core. What was your, I guess, big reason for coming back to play your senior year with this team?
And well, like I said first, I gotta give thanks to Coach Doral. He helped me, find love for the game. You know, again, and then really like this place just feels like home. When most people enter the portal, they're more or less chasing a check, and the grass ain't always green on the other side. When I feel at home, that's when I feel happy.
And so like there was no thought like you knew that from that final whistle after Ferris that you coming back and you're going to end your career in the bronze and blue.
Yeah, when that final whistle was blown, I told myself I'll be here again. We're gonna do it the right way.
And what do you think that commitment from you and Jalen and Jack and TD and others, what do you think that signals to the fans that might have been concerned about losing you all, that like you all really had no intention of going anywhere?
We care for this football team, and just like I said in high school, when you feel like you built something, it's hard to walk away from your home. Something that I don't want to say built from scratch, but it almost feels like you built it from scratch.
And now you all enter the season of familiar territory because you're used to being the hunters, but now you're going to be the hunted, and it hasn't been this way in a long time. What do you feel like you all need to do in order to prepare to now, not be taken lightly by anybody in the conference, getting the best shot out of anybody in the conference, in order to repeat as conference champs?
Well, last year we used to always tell each other, they're gonna bring a fight. We gotta match their intensity. But after what we proved, now we gotta make people match our intensity. Every day we're gonna raise the bar. Every rep we're gonna try to raise the bar. Question is, can you keep up?
And I guess my final question for you is now, because Noah's gone now, but the bulk of the line is still returning. But now, like you being a senior, Rob being a senior, like do you all's leadership now? Do you feel like it needs to be greater than what it has been? And
It
if that's
is.
the case, how do you all plan to lead?
It definitely does need to be greater. No presence alone, was just it was kind of enough as being a leader. So when people know Noah was there, it was no time for games. When Noah spoke up, it was no time for games. When Noah put his hand in the dirt, it was no time for games. So as far as me and Rob, we just need to just keep finding ways to become better vocal leaders.
And how do you think, for you personally, that you can go about doing that?
Well, first I got to keep building connections with the transfers. Know, see where their heads at. Keep trying to find ways to make them feel comfortable, and like get to know them as a person. Like some transfers, I might be able to not even yell at. Like it's not even that serious to yell at, but I might have to pull him to the side. Some transfers, I might have to say something to him then and there. You know what I'm saying? So I just
Um,
kind of got to see how they is as a person.
and that was a thing that I just touched on, because now there's a lot of you all will be seniors, so the next generation is going to be here like pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you all feel like you have to do as seniors and leaders to get them up to the standard to where they can uphold what has been set by this offensive line unit?
We gotta keep holding each other accountable, man. Just realize that nobody's above the standard, and don't expect to show up less than a standard. If you're having a bad day, come talk to us. We already know nobody life is perfect outside of the field, but We all know when we step in between the lines, we need you to bring the best you can bring today.
Well, now before we get you out of here, we do this with all the new guests, and we're getting to know you type questions. Your favorite hobby outside of football?
If lifting don't count, playing the game. Call of Duty, to be specific. Call of Duty.
Now, are we Xbox, PlayStation, or PC?
Yeah, it's on standby, y'all.
Okay, now I feel like the only Xbox people still left, I think, is Dole and Curly.
They do have Xboxes. Yeah, I know. I know. You're right. They both do have Xboxes.
So for you, why are you team PlayStation?
Believe it or not, I was always a Microsoft guy. But after I left my friends in high school, some of them got P5, some got Xbox. Like, thank God it's crossplay. But I just knew, like, when I got to college, everybody was going to have a P5. And that was definitely the case. Everybody had a P5. So after my freshman year, I was just like, you know what? It's really Rob's fault. Rob used to say it every day, like, just get that P5, bro. Just get that P5, bro. And one day I walked in the house with it. And he was in here on it like it was his. Trying to help me set it up. He was standing here. He like, yeah, bro, you see this right here? Mm-hmm. This is what I got my settings on.
See, I laugh, but I also had to make the jump. So like my first system I ever bought with my own hard-earned money, and I say hard-earned from allowances, was a PS2. And then I went from the PS2 to the 360, then from the 360 to the Xbox One. But then I went from the Xbox One to the PS5.
Yeah, straight up, me too. And what's crazy is like the little setting they got on the P5 now, how you can change it to like P2 or P3 or P4. I got mine on the P2.
PS2 is where it's at. I actually have a backwards compatible PS3 that allows me to play PS2 games without using my own PS2. So,
that's lit. I didn't even know that you can do that.
Yeah, if you get like the first generation PlayStations, it used like the same, I think, graphics chip as the PS2s, but they're only like you had to get it within like the first, like, I think, couple of months of the PS3 coming out. So like they're very hard to find now. I found one on eBay like not too long ago and got it, but yeah, no, I tend to play more 360, PS2, PS3 era games. Like, I'm still playing 14. I'm still playing 06, 09. Like, I have 25. It's just that, I don't know. It's just, it's just not the same for me. But,
man, games is much different from how they is now to back then.
Facts. Okay. Now, do you play Madden at all?
I did, but man, Madden makes me mad. It makes me start like banging on stuff next to me. I'd rather just play Call of Duty. Like, I know if I'm missing shots, that's why I die. But Madden, nah, bro. It'd be D tackles, guarding running backs out the backfield, stuff like, just get out of here with that. I don't like that type of stuff.
Now I know the man is graduating now, but I have to ask this because when I talked to J Mo on several occasions, he informed me he was the best Madden player on the team. What? Are you able to confirm or deny his claim?
I'm not aware of that. I can tell you if you want to ask me, but I've never heard J Mo name get brought up in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, because he had informed me he has a specific playbook that he refused to divulge. That he's just. That no one I've asked has been able to confirm that claim. So I'm not sure where he's getting this claim from. If he's not playing anybody, if he's only playing the guys that he happens to be better than. But he did indicate to me that.
Man, I ain't heard nothing. I know anytime somebody play each other, it gets sent in the group chat. So if you lose, just know it's going on Snap. And I ain't seen J-Mo post a win or a loss. So
Okay. So who have you seen post the most wins?
it's Rob, my roommate. Yes. Robert. He's the one that at 3 a.m. you hear screaming and yelling. And I be going in there, I be like, bro, as much raging as you do, like you would think you losing, but he be winning. Like every time, like he give us an update on his record. Like I don't want to say nothing too crazy. Let's just say he's like 1,200, like 1,000 to 200 losses, and like that's pretty good online. So like he'd really be playing.
Okay. All right. Well, note to self then on that. Okay. Let's see. You have a favorite sports team?
Not really. I'm kind of more of a favorite player type of guy since I'm from Oklahoma. Really don't have. I mean, you could say the Thunder, but like as far as football, I was always like a Tom Brady and Gronkowski fan.
So now that those two are retired, who are your favorite players now?
Man, I'm trying not to like bandwagon and pick nobody too crazy. Like I'm really trying not to say nothing so nobody can just hold me to it. I'm really trying to wait, but like I don't know. Like it's a lot of good players. It's a lot of good players. If I say one name from any team, it's gonna be 25 people in my ear. Like you've never said that before, so like I don't even know.
Okay. Let me ask this then. Who's your favorite offensive lineman?
Trent Williams. Or no, Penei Sewell, the dude from the Lions. I say him.
Okay. And what is it about him that makes him your favorite?
Bro, just his attitude and his swagger. Plus, they be trying to get him the ball. They be trying to let him score. I'm trying to go score that rock one time.
Now have you lobbied to Coach Curley about that? And listen,
we've been trying to draw it up. It's a little complicated, but we trying to find some formation. I told her, I'm like, Coach, I don't need to run far. Like, if you try to get me in that end zone, just wait till I'm close. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gotta run far.
That's funny. Let's see.
I'll be telling the receivers just to joke. I'll be like, hey, if y'all see me down there blocking, just toss that thing. I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? I got you. You toss that thing, I promise you we gonna make a play.
Okay, but see, I feel like though, there might be some pushback against that because if you go back to Northeastern State when Noah tried lateral when Noah had tried lateral the ball to Jack.
That's defense. Defense got bad hands. That's defense. You can't speak. That's defense.
Okay, but I feel like most would probably assume that offensive linemen would also not have hands. I feel like
no. The coach, they know I got hands. As TD, there's been a couple of the DBs on the team. I'm not gonna call them out. I ain't gonna say their name. They tried to guard me after practice. Terrell Davis was the quarterback. He'll tell you what happened.
Okay, wait. So we're saying that in a one-on-one scenario, you were able to beat defensive backs in a one-on-one.
If you throw the ball to my hands, yes. I may not get open or create separation, but if you put that ball anywhere in this area, Montriel's coming down with it.
So if they gave you a fade, you feel like you would come down with that pass.
100%. 100%.
Okay, let's see here. So you have a favorite TV show?
SpongeBob.
The old SpongeBob or the new SpongeBob?
The old SpongeBob, like the SpongeBob, like the Nickelodeon, yeah. Yeah, I grew up on this SpongeBob, and like some other shows like the Bernie Mac show, like stuff like that. I used to watch that growing up. Besides that, I'm more of a YouTube type of guy.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Your favorite musical artist?
Lil Wayne.
Okay. Now we talking old Little Wayne or new Little Wayne? Or newest Little Wayne?
Yeah. We gotta talk about the yeah. We going old Wayne.
See, I have to ask that because your former teammate, Jace Gardner, had came on, and first he said he preferred the new Little Wayne, but then after I asked a couple of more guys about that, and they was looking at the man sideways, then he changed his tune to know it was always the old Little Wayne.
Yeah,
So I just
everybody.
feel like,
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. He must have just like had a brain fart or something.
well, it's funny because when I had talked to Steph, I think it was like sometime after that, and I had told him that, and he said, "Yeah," because I had talked to him about that. Like, like clearly, old Little Wayne is superior. I was like, bro, the fact that they had to talk to this. All right, so do you have a favorite Little Wayne song?
I say "Let It All Work Out."
Okay.
And I actually didn't hear that song until my freshman year by one of the senior O linemen. His name was Seth, if you know what I'm talking about. He just played it one day in the locker room. It was just me, him, and Noah. And like ever since then, I just like kept it on repeat.
Okay. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I'm gonna ask now. I've been told that the aux cord in the locker room not a place for the weak. Your phone will get yanked if the music is not being felt by the
Yeah,
majority in the room. Now, have you had that experience where you've been on the aux and your phone has been yanked?
yeah. It'd be times where like people won't touch your phone, but like just random days, you'll put like 3 songs real quick. You go back there, take a shower, and you hear one song play, and then you hear a whole different genre of music, and you just know your phone got touched, like a whole different genre. You can
So
usually
now,
guess what it is.
like is that like a walk of shame when you have to go get the phone after it's been yanked?
It depends. Like some people don't care; they'll just hook their phone up, play a song, and they'll just walk off. Some of them will sit up there and they just tell you like, "Oh, this your phone?" I'm like, yeah. Like my bad, bro. Like they really don't have much to say. Like yeah, you just grab you just kind of just look at them and grab your phone. They better not be playing nothing whack. They playing something whack, probably gonna have something to say.
Well, now it's funny you mention that because when I talked to Noah back in 2022, I think it was, he mentioned he had played a Justin Bieber song. Now I'm not quite sure what
Noah
propelled him
Dobson?
to. Yeah, yeah, he said he played the Justin Bieber song, and his phone got yanked, and he tried to like secretly go up there and get his phone. But I'm
Yeah,
confused as to how we thought that was going to work though. Like it's
yeah. I probably went there that day if he was playing Justin Bieber.
yeah, it's like that's that's that's
Yeah, your phone will get yanked off the locker room if Justin Bieber come on.
so now who in your opinion is the worst on the aux court?
Like I don't want to say worst. I'm gonna say the funniest. I'm gonna say Lamb, and that's just because he be putting like his own music on there, and like I don't think he takes his music serious. I kind of think he takes it for like a joke. Like I don't know. You just have to hear it like through the locker room. You just know it's Lamb when you hear it blasted through the speakers.
See, that's what I've been told. So it went from it being Jace, and then it went from Jace to then being Hunter. But I feel like that was just because of the country, and then when Hunter came on,
Oh, okay. No, this is actually adding up. Whoever's telling you this is telling the truth to some extent. Like, it may not be them, but they are in the running. So yeah, they telling the truth.
And then lately it's been Lamb, and it's been Lamb by an absolute landslide.
Yeah, yeah, it's been Lamb. We let him do him though. We kind of just let him just do whatever he wants. But like, it'd be people in the back laughing. The others be hyping them up. I'd be doing both. I laugh and I hype him up because it's funny sometimes. Because he be serious.
So who then would you say is the best on the Ox?
The best? It depends. It depends like when. Like if we coming in after practice, you probably gonna catch Rob on the Ox. That's probably the fastest he runs throughout the whole day. Running to the Ox to the locker room, the first one. So I'm gonna just give it to Rob. I know he take pride in it.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's okay. It's kind of tough. I mean, you gave me a compliment, but this said the man only running fast get to the Ox. Man, it's kind of.
If they know, they know. Rob be. You walk in the locker room, he already. You know how the locker room set up, so like you kind of walk in like you coming from the field, and he already sitting up there with a song playing. Like already sitting up there, or you would see him like walking towards the Ox with his phone in his hand. He just be like, you got it, bro.
Huh. Now, in terms of gear, now the picture I've got here, I see you got gloves on. I think you have a visor, but are you big into the gear, or are you just like give me the bare essentials and that's all I need?
Man, I be wanting to get into the gear. I need a visor though. Like it's something about the visor I just kind of gotta have. But like I gotta have gloves. I gotta have a visor. And anything else is really extra, honestly. It's just kind of just me trying on something, usually asking Noah, like, hey, does it look good? And he'll tell me no if it don't. He'll be like, no, bro, take that off. But if it's all right, he'll be like, yeah, you smooth. I'm like, okay. And I'll be like, you sure? And he'll be like, bro, you smooth. I'm like, all right, I just have me for sure.
Okay, now who would you say was the best in terms of the gear?
In terms of the gear, I don't know, man. I have to it's one of the skills. Like if I don't say them, they're gonna get mad. So like I don't know which skill I'm gonna say. They all be dressing out like I don't know. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I will say when I talked to JMO, he of course said himself.
He said himself. Yeah, I'm already.
He's himself.
Yeah.
Is that he said himself and that he'd be willing to assist anybody. As a matter of fact, he took some credit for Kobe's improved gear. So I don't know how much
Kobe did improve. I think Kobe used to I don't know. I don't think I don't want to say, but I don't know if Kobe even wears socks in some games. I think he just literally straight laced up his cleats. If I'm correct. I don't want to be lying.
Well, I know back in 2021 when he played as a true freshman, I thought it was some like freshman initiation thing where like you just couldn't have gear because he literally had no gear.
Like I don't know. I'm telling you, if he had socks on, it was no shows. Like we used to say something to him like, "Dang, Kobe, like not only is you ashy on the ankles, but you ain't got no socks either." Like that's probably why. And just tell her shut up.
That's tough. No, yeah, because I was like, so is that like a freshman thing? And he was just like, no, he was gonna improve
a Kobe thing. Yeah, it was a Kobe thing.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Okay, do you have any pregame routines that you normally do?
I usually walk to the logo and I pray, home or away, and then I come back out. If I have time, I'll come back out one more time and I'll just walk around the field. Depending how much I don't like the team. If you just, I'm not gonna say a regular team, but like if you ain't known to just make me mad, I'll walk around the field one time. But like if you Northwest Missouri or something, like you came from the school Duro coached at, I'm probably gonna walk around the field like maybe 2 or 3 times, just to let people know I'm here today.
Okay. Let's see. All right, your favorite food.
Um, Growing up, I'll always tell people French fries. That's kind of honestly the real answer. It's just something about French fries I always like. But like, if I had to say like an actual meal, like maybe seafood or something like that.
Okay, now when we talk to fries, because I mean there's so many different types. You got cream cut, you got steak, you got shoestring. Like, is there a favorite type of fry that you prefer?
Off the top of my mind, the top two is probably McDonald's and Browns. If I just had to just give 2 honest answers, McDonald's and Browns.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I will say when Brahms is on though, their fries are good. It's just the McDonald's fries, like when they get cold, it's
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
it's just not, you got to eat that fast. So that's the
Yeah. When they cold, it's almost like you need to just turn back around and like get some more. You gotta tell them this ain't gonna cut it.
pretty much. Let's see. I think that times. So, well, I guess my final question for you is what can UCO fans expect to see out of Montriel Lee this upcoming season?
Man, just a better version of myself, man. Honestly.
Well, Montreal, I appreciate you taking time to come on and talk about your All American season. Hopefully able to make that 2 in a row as well, and have
Mhm.
your name up there. I don't know if they put the name up there twice. If you
Hey,
make
if,
two
hey,
All
if they
Americans.
do, but maybe they just need to put Tom's too. I accept that as well. You ain't got to put Montreal. You can just put Tom's two, and I accept that if they want to do it like that. Matter
Okay,
of
now
fact, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was saying now, do you feel like though that like next to your name they should put like the number of like outlets that award you the All American. So like if they did that,
Ooh,
you would have like 4 or 5,
I know,
compared to
I
maybe
know.
Lane who only have 1 or 2.
That's a good question. This might get a little confusing. I might have to like help them, like see how they gonna do this where it makes sense the most, where people can just read it. You know.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Because it's like, because like if there's just a list of All American, you're gonna say, oh,
Mhm.
okay, like but like I feel like if there was like a number saying like All American and there was a number by like X amount of like
Yeah,
panels and whatnot, like it's like okay, but then I could also see how like it could get dicey because whatever you played in like the 80s when there wasn't a lot, and so I can kind of see why we just do the one, but yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
bring it
curious to
up. I'm
see
gonna bring
though.
it up to them though. I'm gonna bring it up. Like y'all think y'all can put like a star and then put like 6 next to it, so they just know how many categories I qualified for. Like just when you don't even gotta tell them whether it was first or second. Just tell them I made 6 teams or something like that.
Yeah, just the number. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, really, because like feel like you and TD would kind of have the most data.
Yeah,
That would be that'd be crazy, but yeah, no, man, I appreciate it. I hope you have a good off season, good spring, good fall camp, and looking forward to hopefully you all repeating, hopefully in less dramatic fashion, because not gonna lie, there the last like 5 games of the season was not for the fan of heart. I just like while it was thrilling after the fact, during I'm sure A lot of fans got some gray hair. So regardless, the outcome was still the win. So that's really all that matters. But anytime you want to come back on, we'd be more than happy to have you.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you for having me on.
No problem. Thank you, Montriel.